Senator Dianne Feinstein has been, up until right now, shockingly out of step with her constituents in California, in particular on the issue of marijuana. Today, she takes one half step to be less out of step with her constituents because she said this: federal law enforcement agents should not arrest Californians who are adhering to California law. And to that I say, is she not merciful? She doesn't want us to be arrested. So, but that is her moving towards the position of her state, that ridiculous thing. But so she went on to say, my state has legalized marijuana for personal use, and as California continues to implement this law, we need to ensure we have strong safety rules to prevent impaired driving and youth access, similar to other public health issues like alcohol. So she seems to have, to some extent, surrendered on trying to get the federal government to come in against California law, superseding California law, to shut down the places selling marijuana and things like that. She seems to have. Now, at the same time, she's still pushing basically the plot line of Reefer Madness. Like, she thinks marijuana is the worst thing in the world. She said previously that when she was a parole officer, she saw too many criminals who had begun with marijuana and went on to hard drugs. And back in 2016, when it was about to be legalized, she was vocally opposed to Prop 64 that would legalize it. And at that point, she gave qualified support for medical marijuana. She was sort of okay with that, but certainly not recreational. So it has been a long time coming that she has started to move in our direction, but is still quite far off the rest of the state.
And the feds being at odds with the states on the marijuana issue creates all kinds of other problems, as you know, because the banking regulations are such that they won't take credit cards at many of these different outlets because they're worried about the feds cracking down on them for violating federal law. So there's a whole economic impact on this industry, and that affects taxes and that affects the health of a state. So it's a much bigger problem than just the approval of the drug itself, of marijuana as being an equal to alcohol or a gateway drug or whatever. That is almost living as a separate issue, given all the problems with the federal government being out of step with the states.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to 2018, right? I mean, for Dianne Feinstein, this is one of those things you can't even talk to someone who's still stuck on this, that she's making, like you said, the old Reefer Madness arguments from the 40s or 50s or whatever, and you're just not gonna get her to go along with current thinking. And like you said, the money is the big deal, right? Because they have all this money, like Colorado and Washington states, where people have this money, they can't take it to the bank because in case the federal government decides to seize their money. So it's just an issue she's completely out of touch on, and she's not going to join. It's honestly, and I'm not a young man, but it's like trying to tell my grandmother that weed is okay. I mean, it's one of those things. It would be like trying to tell your grandmother, no, grandma, it's okay, because she's from a generation where it was this horrible, terrible thing, and she's not changing her mind.
Yeah, you can only move so much.
Right, so, just.
And let's acknowledge, of course, I'm assuming every single person watching this understands what's underlying this story, but the reason that she's moving is not that, she was thinking about it. And,
it wasn't a reflective moment?
No, it's that she's in a primary, and this is what happens when you have progressive challengers in a primary, and that's why when people say that primaries are the worst thing in the world and you shouldn't actually do them, and they divide the party and they waste resources, all of that is BS, okay? If a primary challenge is successful, it can result in a better, more representative candidate representing your district or your state, and even if it isn't, even before you have the primary, it can lead to the candidate finally adapting on some issues and moving in the direction they need to move in. Like, we haven't even had our primary yet, and already she is being forced to revise some of her worst positions, the positions where she is least representative of her state. And in this particular case, look, some people might say, okay, so she's backing off from the wanting us to be arrested, so good, we've won. But of course we haven't won. Because even if she were to agree with like the law that we have in the books right now in California, that would not be victory because we are not done yet as a state. Yes, you can sort of buy marijuana recreationally, but as both of you have pointed out, you still can't conduct yourself like any other business, which makes it much more difficult than it needs to be to operate. You still have people spending time in jail for simple possession of things that now I can go and buy right now. I mean, I talked to a candidate on Rebel headquarters that was talking about instituting some form of reparations for those who had spent time in jail for possession of marijuana. Like, there is so much farther that we can go on this issue, and you have to ask yourself, who do I want as my champion? Someone who is reluctantly approaching my current position, or someone who is looking to the future and the next steps when it comes to legislation having to do with marijuana? And thankfully, we've got a primary coming up, so you get to make that determination.
Bravo. That's really what progressive politics is all about. It's not about dragging these, and I hate to say old, because there are also some forward-thinking older people, legislators. I'll be one of them maybe someday. but I think more to the point is progressive politics does represent a view to the future. And I really thought we would have outgrown this. It's funny. I was sitting here listening to Alonzo, and I thought, yeah, he's right about the grandmother thing. And I remember being a kid and thinking, wow, it's going to be so cool when all these people just age out and we all vote in sort of cool new people who get this marijuana thing. It's such a ridiculous argument. And yet we haven't grown out of it yet. It's insane. The federal government won't come around on this. And now even a senator of one of the most progressive, forward-thinking states has just now come around incrementally on it.
Yeah.
And when I say old, I don't mean, obviously they are chronologically old, but it's also that thing of how long has she been in the Senate?
Long time.
30-something years.
Yeah.
And so completely out of touch with people. Like you literally have to talk her into agreeing to a law that the people of California voted for. That's ridiculous that you have to talk a senator like, oh, this is a law. This isn't like people talking. This isn't a bunch of people getting high and just joking. Like this, there was an election and California voted, and California said marijuana should be legal for recreational use, for adults to use recreation. And she's like, maybe it's okay. Like, no, we don't care about your personal opinion.
Yeah.
You're supposed to represent the people, and the people have spoken. If your personal opinion does not agree with the people, either leave the job or suck it up and represent the people.
Yeah.
And this is, when you've been in the Senate for 30 some odd years, you're completely out of touch with that person that you were talking about. And this is why young people, progressive people, et cetera, feel, hey, no one represents us because she was a senator for 10 years before I was born.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we've got a model for this. I mean, there are senators and other politicians who are personally pro-life, but they vote pro-choice because they know that that's what their state wants. You can do that for other issues too. You can do that for marijuana.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.